I know I see this a lot as well with the glute press. This is why this is not necessarily the best exercise. You see people putting weights on their hips and they're doing a hip thrust, and you can see their glutes are activating. You can see as they're pushing their hips up, those glutes are firing. However, that is the concentric phase of the exercise. All right, so everybody wants to get the most effective workout possible, right? And I understand that. You have limited time and you want to crunch in as much as possible in that limited time you have to work out. And the thing is, a lot of people, when they work out, they're trying to do 50 different exercises in that hour or hour and a half of time that they have dedicated to their exercise routine. However, that's not really the most effective way to work out. You may think, yeah, the more exercise, the better, right? Not necessarily. The thing is that if you're doing those 50 reps and you're doing only, or 50 exercises, you're only doing half reps and you're not giving it your all, or at least giving it some kind of effort throughout those repetitions, you're almost wasting your time. I don't want to say you are wasting your time, but you can be doing a lot more with that time. So let's take, for instance, an exercise that we all know, a bicep curl. Now, a bicep curl is going to go through, like with any exercise, two different phases. You have the eccentric phase and the concentric phase. The eccentric phase is where you lengthen the muscle, and the concentric phase is where you contract the muscle. You can remember that by eccentric, elongate, concentric, concentrate. All right. So when you have the weights in your hand, you're going to be lowering that weight down towards the ground, and you're going to be elongating, lengthening your bicep. Conversely, you're going to be using your triceps, and you're going to be contracting or going through that concentric phase with the triceps. So why is that important? It's because when we're working through that eccentric phase, that's when we're actually putting the most load on the muscles. So if you're not going through that full range of motion, if you're not taking that weight all the way down, you're not getting the most effect from that workout. So what you want to do when you're doing a bicep curl, make sure you're going all the way down. Don't just let it drop down though. You want to control it down. You're putting load on that bicep, and if you can control that load throughout the full range of motion, you're going to get the most effect from that exercise. So when it comes to any exercise, whether it be a bicep curl, I know I see this a lot as well with the glute press. This is why this is not necessarily the best exercise. You see people putting weights on their hips and they're doing a hip thrust, and you can see their glutes are activating. You can see as they're pushing their hips up, those glutes are firing. However, that is the concentric phase of the exercise. That is not as what's building up your glutes. What's building your glutes is the lowering of the weight down towards the ground. So if you're slowly controlling that lowering down towards the ground, you're going to have more results in that exercise. So that because you're almost already on the ground when you're doing that exercise, you're not really getting full range of motion. You're not getting the most effect from that exercise. So what I suggest, instead of doing kickbacks or hip presses, you do something that loads up the hip directly. Something like a pistol squat is probably one of the best things for your glutes. The reason for that being is that you're having gravity that you're pulling against, or that you're fighting against. It's pulling you down as you're trying to slowly lower yourself to the ground. So you already have gravity working against you. So if you're trying to work your glutes, you want to think about a pistol squat, learning how to squat with one leg off the ground and lower that body down as close as you can towards the floor, right? You want to pistol squat it up. Another exercise you can do that's really good is a deadlift, a Romanian deadlift. You're going to be really loading up that hamstring. Again, having that eccentric phase, so you're creating that elongation through the hamstring and loading that hamstring up while it gets longer. That's going to really affect those glutes. It's really going to give you that hamstring definition that you're looking for. Of course, you can't spot treat, but that's a great way to strengthen your posterior chain, your backside. So again, if you're looking to really train your body, it doesn't need to be that you're doing 50 exercises in an hour. What you can do is really focus on those few exercises that you really find important for the day, whether it be a bicep curl or a hip press or of course, as we talked about, a pistol squat. Really try to focus on working those exercises, working that range of motion, and that'll really be the most effective workout that you can do. All right, so hopefully this brought you value. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them down below in the comment section. I do appreciate you watching. Of course, if you have any questions that you don't throw down in the comment section, you can always get back to me, general@generalfitnesscompany.com. All right, thanks again. Take care of yourself, and as always, keep good company.